All right, I'd like to make a motion to come out of executive session. Joanne, would you make that motion? Ron, would you second that motion? We're going to come out of executive session. Roll call. Joanne? Tom? Ron?
Aye.
Wally?
Aye.
Also vote in the affirmative. We are out of executive session. So getting back into the budget, how much we wanted to add some money to?
For 3 of them, I put in $20,800.
So you said 21,000?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And that would, what would that bump that?
So that takes the grand total to $633,750.
633, 750.
And I will put in a new equipment expense line item for that.
And you're adding another line for equipment?
Correct. That will be 701002.
7001.
No, 701.
Yep, 701002.
Okay, yeah.
And that would be 21,000?
21,000.
Okay. Anything else in this budget? Okay. Let's keep rolling forward then. Want to jump into sheriff's corrections?
Yes, corrections is next. So the first line that we discussed earlier, professional services, the physician contract, 1.193. Jason, we have dental on here. Did you say that that's no longer, that was canceled?
That contract itself was voided by the company.
Okay.
I'm currently in talks with a local dentist to try to figure out, I believe that he'll do it for that amount or under, but I have to sit down with him yet, and figure out how exactly he wants to do that, so.
So WellPath could go down by 30,000, but we'll need another line for the outside.
Well, technically, that was a line on its own because we didn't pay WellPath for that, we paid that separately. So that bill came to us, so we paid it, we just put it under the medical services instead of making a new line item for it.
But we kept it under here. But still, that first line would come down by 30,000 and we move it to somewhere else for the other outside, because that's where we paid it all out of. I just wanted to make sure on that.
Yeah,
amount.
however you
Okay.
want to do it, yeah.
Okay. So then WellPath would be 1.163401. And then the additional 30,000 for the dental at a later date. The live scan, which we were just discussing earlier, we increased that by 2,400. Travel, meals, lodging, an increase of 2,500. Education, PTI, an increase of 16,900. And this is to send newly hired correctional deputies to PTI school for basic correctional training as mandated by the state of Illinois. Office supplies and expenses, we decreased that by 600. The jail accreditation, that is, the cost will be 16,900.
Can I chime in on that
Sure.
real quick, Steph?
Yes, please.
I did want to point out that there's going to be, so in this year's line, we had the 52.5, and the way things lined up, that's going to end up being off this year because our auditors come on December 2nd and 3rd, and until we signed that contract, we had no idea what the new fee was going to be. We have to pay half of that before they come. So the half of the 16.9 will have to be paid in this budget year, so that 5,000 is going to be over by the,
By about
whatever that-
$3,000.
The difference is
Yeah.
roughly, so.
Okay.
I didn't know any other way to handle that because we didn't know that amount going in. Knowing in the future, that last year going in, we can ask them so that if the audit's always going to be right after the budget start, we can make sure that we've got that for that budget year, that we have to send that first amount in correctly.
Is there any objections from the committee to doing that way? No?
Or if there's another way to do it, you
Yeah.
let me know.
Okay.
So he'll be over by like $3,200 on that line this year, if we have to pay $8,250.
Okay.
Next are the inmate supplies, which is their uniforms, bedding, towels, hygiene, et cetera. We did increase that by $5,500. As you can see, we're currently over budget on that line. Next are the uniforms. There's for new hire for the uniforms. We're anticipating 5 retirees. So we've incorporated the new hires in there. Increase of 7,500. The radios maintenance, batteries, we increased that by 1,400, so $6,400, which includes UPS for repeater. And then the payroll increase based on contracts.
Okay. Any questions on this?
Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to real quick highlight a couple of things.
Sure.
I believe last year, there were a couple of these items that we had brought down because of the numbers of people in our facility. The reason, like at this time, you see that they're so close and the one was over is because when we took on Kane County, we then had to buy a bunch of things we weren't anticipating buying to get us back up to our number wise. Currently, we're sitting pretty good on stuff, so even if someone else were to call again, we shouldn't need another big purchase like that. But the laundry and the cleaning, the one that went way over that we asked for an increase this year, we're just continuing to go through those things, and that's not just based on the outside inmates coming in. That's just stuff that we cut in the past and realized that we had cut it too much. So we've tried to cut back on some of that stuff buying and just can't. We run out of it. We got to
That's
order
fine.
more of it. So
So, and I know in the way these budgets work, the revenue is never, there is no revenue for general fund specifically from the jail, but a lot of these extra expenses are from the additional revenue that's been created from taking on additional inmates from other counties, correct?
correct. And speaking of that, I did want to update you today. As of today, with some outstanding bills, that account sits at $576,000, $465 of what we are housing for other counties currently.
So for the fiscal year, that's 500 and,
Yes. So
76,000.
So it'll be a little over 600,000 by the end of this, maybe 625, depending on what else comes in. But by the end of this, so be a little over 600,000 that we took in this year also in housing for other counties.
do you anticipate that amount in the next fiscal year?
A very large chunk of that was from the 3 months from Kane County.
Right.
What I would tell you would be a safe bet for any mathematicians in here is if you take the 15,000 times 12, that's a safe bet of what it is. Now, Cook County continues to tell us that their program is continuing to grow, and they have brought some more people to us, but they've also pled out some of the people they've had here. So as we've gained a couple more Cook County ones, we've also lost 2 of them in the last couple of months. So they anticipate, they asked me flat out, listen, can we bring 12 to 15 people? I said, yes, we do have, because we have to keep them all together in one room, one area of the jail. I said, we do have the space for that. So they're continuing to try to get to that number. So that's how it would grow. But currently, if we're looking at the past of what they've been here, I'd say look at that rough 15,000 over 12 months, and that'll be the minimum, I would say, of what we're going to take in.
Would be
180, 200,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Continue.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Let's go to the sheriff's budget.
Hey, Sheriff, Steph might not have seen it. Do I need to talk about that part-time position? I did, there was a line item in my contract, in my budget for part-time that we've never used in the past. You guys have heard me talk about it in the past. We've got a pretty robust drug treatment program going on down in our jails, so much so that later this month, we've got 4 jails from around the country coming to visit us for 2 days to see how we do things and to help them set up their programs. One of the things I'm looking for, so since February of this year, we have used a certified peer support specialist in our facility. That person was paid for through Best Incorporated. They had grant money that allowed them to pay for that. They originally came to us as a wanting to just volunteer some hours, so we did backgrounds on them and everything else. For those that are not familiar with what the recovery support specialist is, essentially it's someone with lived experience who's been through what these people are going through and has gotten their life turned around and clean. The person we have is 12 years sober. She has been doing a fantastic job back there. It gives the inmates, so I can talk to the inmates all I want, our nurse can talk to the inmates all they want. There's still that aspect in their lives of not having, we haven't gone through what they've gone through. So when you have a peer support person who is, who has gone through those things, they tend to, you know, navigate towards those people a little bit more. The important part to this is we're doing very well with them when they're in custody. We want to make sure, because we're releasing them back into the community, that we can do what we can to assist them in the community. That's where this person comes in. I talked to HR about it already. I'm looking for a part-time, no benefits. It would be a maximum of 999 hours in a year. I asked in the budget for 20,000. I said that with our MAR funds, which I am getting another grant awarded this year for that, but I can pay half of that out of my grant that I have. So I'm just asking for 10,000 from the county to cover the other half of that so that we can get this person. We're kind of going this way anyway. A lot of other counties do it, but most of them do it through their probation departments. They have people with lived experience working in probation, helping communicate and draw those lines. I haven't seen anybody else moving on this, and I have the ability to do it with our program, and it's something I'd love to see get started in our county. And as I said, the biggest thing is we're helping these people then once they're back into the community to help them stay sober. The person we have has had good success meeting with people, taking them to meetings. She's had 2 instances. We had one of a girl who was in custody, and when she got out, 4 weeks later, she relapsed. She called this person immediately. The person got her to treatment immediately. She called up our nurse in the jail that does it. They made some phone calls, got her into treatment, and she transported her immediately. So those are things that don't necessarily happen because these are people that have lost all the trust of their family and they don't have anybody else to turn to. So for us, that was a good sign that somebody relapsed and realized they didn't want to relapse and they wanted to keep getting the help, and that we provided them somebody that they felt comfortable to call. Ironically, every single person that's ever left, I've given them my personal cell phone number. I said, if you ever relapse, call me and I will get you into a treatment facility. My phone has not rang once. But this is probably a big reason for that. There's a lot more trust in that lived experience than there is with someone who works in law enforcement. So that's why I put that in there. That's what I'm asking for. And
Joanne, there is no line, so it would be 001, 052, 900, 100. Part-time, no benefits is what it's called.
it is an actual line
It is
in
an
the
actual
budget
line.
itself. It's just not on this sheet that's printed out.
I just added it. And then, Jason, you said 10,000?
10,000 from the county, and I will put the other 10,000 in from my grant that I have. So it's 20,000 total in the line.
Okay. So then that would take that to 6,979,256.
Anything else?
Not for me.
Nothing.
No, I thought you were asking if anybody had any other questions. Sorry.
Anything?
No, that's all I had.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, ready? Okay, moving on to the sheriff's. Professional services, physicals, we just increased that by 1,000. The non-contract medical, we're just going to remove that as we don't use that anymore. The merit commission, there will be testing, so this is testing for deputies, corrections, the publications, and then we are also going to add psychological exams, so that is the increase for that one.
Correct.
Am I correct on that? Okay. Maintenance service contracts, there was a small increase to some of our maintenance, to some of the annual contracts of $1,800. Telephones, an increase of $8,700 for potential, more deputies. I mean, there are 4 more coming on currently. And, these are for their new phones. Extradition, as you can see, we are currently over budget on that, so we did increase that by 5,000. We have no control over that cost. Education PTI, we did decrease that by almost $10,000. The note on education PTI, we are reimbursed for some of that. However, we don't get the second reimbursement until in December, so it gets put on for the next fiscal year. However, so far, we've been reimbursed for that alone about $48,000 this year.
I think by the time the end of the year, they pretty much reimburse you for all of it.
Yeah, it's almost 100% reimbursed. It's just hard to put the
Right.
figure to it, but as of right now, it's been like 48,000 for FY '25. Supplies, we were able to decrease that. Uniforms, an increase of 12,000, again, due to new hires. Radios and maintenance and batteries, we were able to decrease that one by 20,000. Office equipment, a decrease of about 13,000. Our lease expense, there is an increase. Again, the TASER lease is 25,500. The in-car camera lease is $92,844, and the body cam lease is $51,448.
Excuse me just a second. So the radios, maintenance, batteries, that has nothing to do with portables, 725 for
That's just like our annually budgeted that we have for replacement batteries, for supplies.
so
for
this is
like-
other equipment then?
Yeah,
Yeah.
correct, yep. Yeah.
And then payroll, obviously contractual again, and part-time no benefits, and then overtime as we did increase that some as we are currently over on that line as well. I do want to make a note, though, as Brian, you said that we don't see the income that is generated, but the sheriff's office, based upon their, like the PTI that comes back to us, their miscellaneous agency patrols that they do on the, for like Exelon and all
Yeah,
the
so
other
we do, yeah,
fairs
we've
and
been,
stuff like that.
we've been hired back by Republic for security, IDOT grants where they buy back to put extra deputies on the road. We're reimbursed for the marshals, for their extra like warrant services. Like my guys will go out in the morning before work and then they're back on the clock by 8 o'clock, but they, you know, they might run up to Naperville with the marshals. They might run into LaSalle County. They might run into Bureau County to help serve high risk warrants and stuff. We get reimbursed for all that. So far we've gotten a little over 152,000 of our overtime expenditures back.
And all of those details in the U.S. Marshals is paid at overtime, correct?
Correct, yeah, we budget.
So
they
that is
bring-
why the overtime line is where it's at currently. So again, we have been reimbursed 152,000 of that, so.
Okay. I haven't plotted out payroll, but actual 24 was 4,355,000. We budgeted 5.4. We're at 3.5.
What's that, I'm sorry, Brian.
As far as budgets, where are we going to end up with our payroll? Are we going to end up at 5.4? I guess we have 3 months to go.
This is factoring in 4 additional deputies as well.
Okay. That's not too bad then. I just haven't done the math to look at that. Any questions? I just trying to figure out, I know right
Yeah.
now, it looks like we're actually 2 million under
Yeah, and we actually.
under
budget-
our current budget for the current year.
Yeah, and to draw your attention to it too, so, you know, we cut 10 positions out of the jail, out of corrections with Roos things.
Yeah,
You guys gave
yeah.
us 6 last year, which was phenomenal. It was great. It gets us, you know, much closer to where we need to be. This year we asked for 3 additional on the fleet. You know, you're still down a salary from where you were at before. We're not, you know, we're gaining more patrol. You know, we're still under where we were in number of employees prior, and we're asking for that to continue to grow. Like I've told you guys before, in the last 20 years, our call volume has grown 5 times. You know, in 2003, we were taking like 3,000 calls a year. Now we take 15, 16,000 calls a year, and we have to grow to meet that if you want to keep serving the public the way that we should, to responding to calls the way that we should, and having patrols the way that we should. So,
Right. I just looking at this, if I took 3.5 million in 25 actual, and I divide it by 9, which is kind of what we are per month, and then I times it by 12, I'm at 4.6 million. So even if you add in 6 deputies, I guess that would work. Okay. Just doing some mental calculation out loud.
sure.
Sorry.
That's okay.
If anybody else is here when they look at payroll.
Brian, excuse
Yeah.
me. Both Melissa and I, she has her Bible, and we have mapped it out.
I've seen it.
and That is, we both were within like 12 cents
Yeah.
of each other. So I rounded up, she just left it with her figures. So
That's what it is. Okay.
I'm not sure, but that's the math that we both came up with as far as the contract with the increases coming up. We both agreed, so.
Yeah, just, okay.
Yeah, I get you.
All right, thanks. Okay, anything else? How about the Rusty Medical Cost Fund?
Okay, the Rusty Medical's cost fund, there's not as much income coming into that account anymore. You can see the cash on hand is 46,000 right now. Interest, I put at 1,400, and medical services fee, I put at 6,500. I did lower the transfer to the general fund down to the 6,500 of what we currently bring in to make it a match. I don't know if you're okay with that. That's just a recommendation, because it used to be 12,000, but we're not bringing that in the fees anymore. So I matched it to what we bring in for the fees.
That's fine. Okay,
Okay, next is the Cannabis Regulation Fund. Currently, the cash on that is 92,172. Vehicle expense, we kept that at 33.5, and office equipment expense at 20,000. Estimating cannabis use tax at 50,000 and interest income of 3,500. So 53.5 on both sides.
any questions? Okay,
Fund 29, Sheriff Drug Enforcement Fund, that's sitting at 92,675. Was that the same number?
No, there's some,
Oh, okay.
yeah, just real close.
Okay. Vehicle expense, kept it at 30. Crime Investigation Fund at 2. We did decrease the K-9 expense by 8,000. So that brings it down to 118,200. On the revenue, interest income of 5,000. K-9 donations of 1,500. State drug enforcement income of 36,000, and state forfeiture percentage of 1,500. A revenue of 44,000, so the difference would be made up in the cash on hand. So if we expend what we have listed and bring in what we have listed, it would eat into the cash quite a bit, so wouldn't be a whole lot left there.
so you're gonna run your cash pretty much, you're gonna run it down to like 20,000?
No, we had some big purchases the last year. We, you know, what did we do? We created an entire canine program with 3 dogs. I put our entire fleet, I put computers in the squad cars. I, you know, outfitted the tech team with new equipment. You know, we've had a bunch of, we bought drones, we created our drone program and strengthened it and stuff. So we've had some major purchases the last year or two here, so.
But this year, if we expend what we have budgeted and bring in what we have, we will bring our cash down to 18,000, is what he's saying at.
Yeah, we just, we
Without
don't
any
really have any other
deposits.
big purchases planned for it, I guess.
Okay, so 26 is the big purchases, you're gonna run your cash down to about 20 grand, and,
Yeah, we just, like I said, we've kind of done the things we need to do with a lot of it, so,
okay.
yeah.
Any questions from the committee? All right.
Next is the DUI account. I'm sorry, I did not list how much is in there. hang on one second. Cash is 80,886. Supplies, we decreased that substantially because we did purchase Quicket in 2025, and that will not have to be purchased in '26. And then vehicles, 19,000 for 21.5. On the revenue, we have interest income of 2,500, DUI fines of 18, and miscellaneous income of 1,000 for a balanced budget of 21.5.
Any questions on Fund 34? Okay, next.
48, County Sheriff Vehicle Fund has $1,600 in it, and that's 500 maintenance and repair and 500 of vehicle fines. This account obviously rarely ever gets used and has not been used in quite some time.
Okay, next.
Last one is Sheriff e-citation, 53, cash on hand is 24,333. Expenses of 5,500 for office equipment and interest income of 500 and the e-citation fees of 5,000. And the office equipment is like the paper for the little machines and
Yeah.
maintenance and upkeep on those, so.
Correct.
All right, anything from the committee? No? All right, how about anything at any part of the budget? Anything? Anybody want to go back over anything? Okay. So I'll need a motion to, I guess, generally approve and forward to finance. It would be General Fund 123, Fund 40, Fund 51, and Fund 52, and Specialty Funds 3, 11, 29, 34, 48, and 53, income and expenses.
And then Brian, for squad cars and outfitting and all that, he was going to discuss at public safety. Just FYI.
Okay, like, gonna what? Help me out. We are public safety,
Well, I meant, well, when they discuss Fund 33,
right?
so that's more like finance, I guess I should say, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Is that all right?
Yep, that's
Okay.
typically,
Sorry. This says public safety.
and it's a
But you
general.
don't discuss Fund 33 much.
It's general rotation. You're going to do 6 or 8 vehicles. Like, actually, you should stay on target. I need someone for that motion. Okay, Joanne, have a second. Wally, all right, discussion. No discussion. Okay, so we're going to approve what I just mentioned and send to finance. All in favor? Aye. Are there any opposed? Okay, that motion carries. And then you're getting how many squad cars? What's your general, what do you put in, 8?
We did with the 3 additional, I think, yeah. It's okay.
All right, is there anything else in the sheriff's? I know we have to do bills.
Actually, 9, Brian, I'm sorry.
9?
Yeah. that's what
Okay.
we had in, so.
Yeah. And motion, Tom, to pay bills. Wally, second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Are there any opposed? All right, sheriff's bills are paid.
Ryan, I had one other update for committee. I forgot to mention it.
Yep,
Literally
go
10
for it.
seconds. I just wanted to update you guys on our ADP in the jail. We've almost doubled since where we were a year ago. We're now hovering between 115 and 125 on our daily inmate counts. So I know that we've asked that question. We covered it a lot when it wasn't rising. Now that it is rising, I wanted to make sure you guys were aware of it.
Okay. Well, great. All right, if there's nothing else in sheriff's, we're going to move on to EMA.
All right, I'll keep mine really, really, really short. You've got my report. I won't hit any of the highlights on the report. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to me. The parking lot that, the apron extension that we put behind my building, the gravel is in place. I can use it. So it's functional right now. The other 2 updates I want to give you is I alluded to it earlier with, when the Motorola guys were here. The command bus is, I call it a command bus. We're actually going to call it a mobile operations and communications center when it gets delivered to us. But it's going to have the state police frequencies programmed into those radios. And in order to do that, I need an MOU with the Illinois State Police to get permission to program them in. Pat Herman received the copy of the MOU with ISP, and it's between Illinois State Police and my agency. Basically, Pat's reply to me is that the agreement covers operation or use, but there's no financial implications for either side. Me as EMA and the sheriff's office are the only two, or I'm sorry, not the sheriff's office, state police are the only two entities affected by the MOU. Therefore, it's Pat's opinion that I can sign the MOU without board or board chair signature on it. So I am just giving you that heads up that I will be signing that MOU after this meeting unless there's objection. The command bus, as it sits right now, is actually in fabrication. So the chassis has been delivered. They're actually building the cab over it right now. I have to reach out to, well, I have reached out to the agencies in our area to get their frequency information to program into the radios. Once I get the radios programmed, then I'm going to be going up and dropping off the radios for them to install. Anticipated delivery is January of 2026, could happen as early as December of 2025. I give you that update because we budgeted in Fund 33 for the purchase of this thing for this year, but they agreed to wait until delivery before they accepted it. So we're going to have to forward that line item next year in Fund 33. That's all I have for updates.
Okay. Anybody have any other questions? Motion to approve his report. Joanne, seconded by Ron. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Aye. Are there any opposed? Okay, that motion carries. And then let's pay his bills. Again, this one will be Tom. Ron, any got a motion second? Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Are there any opposed? Okay, that motion carries as well. Okay, and then the coroner, the report was emailed out, so motion to accept the report by Joanne, second by Wally. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Are there any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. And a motion to pay bills by Tom, a second by Ron. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Are there any opposed? That motion carries as well. All right, I guess at this time we need a motion to adjourn. Ron and Wally? Okay, a motion and a second. No discussion. All in favor? Aye. Are there any opposed? Nope, we are adjourned. Thank you.